Live from the BDN Studios, it's Bang and Dang.
That's awesome.
If you don't like that, then
You ain't black.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Outlaws and the Gunslingers, where we are.
Oh wait, no, it's not the Wild West.
It's not the Wild West. Where we are continuing that trek into Prohibition. We went to the base of the mountain. We climbed up the side. We reached the summit, and now we are climbing our way down, almost at the bottom of the other side of the mountain here.
All through the Public Enemy era.
I think we've done all we could do with Prohibition.
I think we're gonna do this one here, and then next week we'll have a closer transition show.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think we, as we've mentioned previously before on all these other episodes, there's tons of Prohibition guys out there. There's tons of Prohibition figures and whatever.
Right.
There's not long enough to do our 45-minute epispe.
And we already did one.
We're not going to do
Smorgasbord.
We tried it last week with the women of Prohibition, and I mean, it worked out.
Too much information.
It was an hour and a half long and 6 different people that we covered, and by the time we were on our last one, probably nobody remembered the first one, so it's just not worth it.
Right.
And then we're not, I mean maybe we can start releasing like shorts, Outlaw and Gunslingers shorts,
Right.
on some people with shorter stories, where it's only going to take us 10-15 minutes to get their shit out of the way, you know. But maybe we can. But this is probably going to be the last long form Prohibition one, besides our wrap up one with the repercussions and everything that Prohibition did to the United States, the effects, the cause and effects over there. But this one ending with pretty decent guy, not a killer, made some money though.
Made some money.
William Vincent Dwyer, also known as Big Bill Dwyer,
Big Bill
was an Irish-American bootlegger in New York during the 1920s.
Ooh.
He used his profits to purchase sports properties, including the New York Americans, Pittsburgh Pirates of the National Hockey League.
I mean, this guy, he clearly had money anyway, right?
You would, well, obviously. Oh, yeah.
And then the extra money he was getting from bootlegging, he was like, you know what? Maybe he knew that bootlegging wasn't last forever. Let's buy these.
No, he used his profits, so which means he used his bootlegging money.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is back in what he already has, I would have to say, right?
Well as those 2 NHL teams, he also owned the Brooklyn Dodgers of the National Football League. Yes, there was
so
Brooklyn Dodgers.
He owned New York Americans and the Pittsburgh Pirates.
And the Brooklyn Dodgers.
Of the NHL. And then he bought the Brooklyn Dodgers.
Well,
they were in the NFL.
Unfortunately for him, he was eventually brought down by the U.S. government through legal actions, leaving Dwyer penniless at the end of his life in 1946.
Oh, no.
All of that, which we just described there, we will go through in detail from the beginning to the end, just like we always do.
Oh.
And
we'll
Big Bill Dwyer.
When did he get his money? Did he grow up in money? Big Bill was born and raised in Hell's Kitchen, 1983.
Not the TV show.
You guys
Are
don't
you
know.
fucking moron?
If you guys don't know what Hell's Kitchen is, then you shouldn't be listening to this show. Although he would avoid the temptations of quick money and the gangster lifestyle, Bill Dwyer was a hard-working man.
He was.
He's a hard-working man. How was that? Something about Promised Land or something like that?
I don't think that's a song that's ever existed in the history of songs.
Yeah.
All I can think of is, she's working 9 to 5.
Well, anyway, he finished school and then went to work he went to work for a little bit of time as an usher before finding employment as a stevedore on the Chelsea Piers. What's a stevedore?
What's a stevedore?
It's like a bellboy?
A stevedore at a pier.
Or
so one can only think, what a stevedore. What do you think it is before?
I don't know. I think
a
it's
stevedore. It's at a pier. So what do you think a stevedore
I think
does?
it's like a stocker or like a gopher guy.
At a pier?
Yeah, a pier. So he's taking shit off boats or something shit, right?
I think he's like a...
or a fish guy, maybe?
Stevedore at a pier.
I don't know. Fucking look it up.
So maybe he's like a hauler. Person employed or a contractor engaged at a dock to load and unload cargo from ships.
He's unloading shit.
I'm just a young stevedore. Okay, good for him. He was a stevedore at Chelsea Piers.
Fucking A. So, yeah, he's a dock worker, basically.
Right.
Big Bill would marry a girl from his block in Hell's Kitchen, Agnes Frances Cassidy.
Agnes. What a total 1800s name.
I bet he called her Frances.
Well, maybe. I don't know.
And the two moved into a small 4-room house and began a room together. And then it began a family together. They bought a little tiny 4-room house. It's probably bathroom, kitchen, bedroom, living room.
Agnes, we're gonna start a family together. This is your home.
Right. I told you, Big Bill, you can call me
Francis.
Well, quit calling me Big Bill. And I'll call
Right. I don't call me Big Bill except for we're in bed. Right. Then you call me Huge Bill.
Right.
Well, just after that, a close friend from his childhood, George J. Shevlin, who actually had originally got Big Bill the job on the docks and was also the owner of a string of saloons along the Chelsea piers, found himself struggling to hang on to his customers with the passing of the Volstead Act in 1919 and the Prohibition laws of 1920. But it soon became clear that a far more lucrative opportunity was opening up. Dozens of warehouses owned by the government packed with confiscated alcohol. A market in knocked off alcohol began as soon as the Prohibition laws came into effect.
Okay.
Dude, I didn't even consider that. Like, we've never had that in any of these episodes.
All right.
Government, usually you see the pictures of the people, the agents fucking hacking away at barrels and dumping in the streets, but I didn't consider that there's literally warehouses full of government fucking confiscated alcohol.
Yeah, because half the government needed it. So
well, that's true too. That's probably just whiskey though.
Right. Shevlin approached Dwyer. Shevlin approached Dwyer, asking him if he wanted to be partners in his new venture. Well, Big Bill, he was like, you know what? I'm going to go for it.
I'm going to go for that.
Shevlin and Big Bill pursued non-violent ways in their attempts to get the liquor stored by the government.
What a good guy. Non-violent.
We got to figure out how to get we're not talking about the government here, so it has to be as non-violent as possible. So they're like, we'll figure this out. Preferring to other bribes and false permits to withdraw industrial alcohol.
Oh. So they're getting false permits to get like...
Right. He was like, here's how we're going to do it.
We need so many cases of whatever to do whatever industrially. Okay.
Right. Which was then sold to other bootleggers to make the liquor. As the business grew...
Oh, industrial alcohol.
Right.
So it's not even booze.
Well, it's manufactured.
Which sold to other bootleggers that make liquor.
Right.
So what, do they dull it down, I'm assuming? Distilled ethyl alcohol, normally of high proof, produced and sold for other than beverage purposes. It is usually distributed in the form of pure ethyl alcohol, completely denatured alcohol, especially denatured alcohol, and proprietary solvent blends. So it's a fucking solvent.
Yeah, strong ass shit.
So they're taking that and then giving it to the bootleggers. They're using that, distilling it down into...
They're cutting it, right. It's the pure... Fucking
So they're taking a block of cocaine essentially and cutting it down with baby powder, not baby powder, but B12 or whatever the fuck else.
Somewhat safe.
Right.
Because other than that, you're taking a bump and you're foaming at the mouth.
That makes sense.
Right. Anyway, as we said, that Shevlin and Big Bill, they were nonviolent.
Right. False permits, bribes, withdraw industrial alcohol.
Right. They sold what they got to bootleggers so they can make the liquor.
Okay.
Well, as the business grew, they invested carefully. Setting up a network of warehouses, trucks, and men.
Of course, you got to have the men.
Right, to guard the lots. Big Bill and Shevlin quickly dominated bootlegging in Manhattan within a year.
Damn,
and this is what year was this?
This was in the 1920, right around that time.
1921, I'll say.
Well, with his reputation secured and his stature enhanced in the syndicate he'd created with George Shevlin, Big Bill Dwyer continued to develop and assume more control over his bootlegging operation and became recognized as its head of operations.
Oh, no shit.
Well, George Shevlin, for one reason or another, which we don't know, it's all speculation.
Yep, he's not here to answer.
Right. Well, he dropped out of bootlegging, leaving Big Bill in control of an expanding.
Right.
Leaving Big Bill in control of expanding a multi-million-dollar operation.
Right.
So, however, with all that new power, Big Bill soon found himself running against the many other liquor smuggling operators in the city, struggling with them for territory, alcohol, and the profits.
So his problem here is he's non-violent, but yet he made it as far as he did.
And this dude's in New York, so...
Right. Does he take a turn?
This dude's in New York, so guess who else is in New York?
Right, everybody.
Right. Well, most importantly, the mob.
Right. Big Bill had organized a smuggling operation which ran from Europe directly to Manhattan.
Okay.
His influence became so great that he could build a web of law enforcement, police, which is law enforcement,
well, not necessarily,
and Coast Guard officers on his payroll, ensuring Big Bill's shipments were delivered without interference.
Okay.
He also solidified his political connections to Tammany Hall.
Solidified?
Right. Through James J. Hines. Hines himself would be indicted. Indicted! Look, it says indicted!
Indicted, Jane!
It's all right, James. All right, same James got indicted. Wow, look at these Jameses getting indicted. Well, I guess.
I mean, he was just James getting indicted.
He was a character.
Who was James got indicted?
Dick.
No.
Fun with Dick and Jane.
Dick and Jane.
Yeah, his character. I mean, his real name starts with his real name, James.
Jim, right?
So he got indicted.
All right.
Well, anyway, James Hine got indicted. In 1938 for protecting the Dutch Schultz mob.
Okay.
Big Bill also made a lot of connections to gangsters to help protect his business. And it's obviously money. You didn't need violence, you just need money. Future gangsters such as Lieutenant Vanny Higgins, who would become the last Irish boss of Brooklyn. We will find out who Vanny Higgins is in about 15 episodes.
Yeah, he could possibly be a Outlaws and Gunslingers short.
Right.
Short shot?
Right.
What do we call it? Outlaws and Gunslingers.
Nap. Let's get a nap.
Dude, we should start doing duels.
Duels. Got napped.
We should do a spin-off called Outlaws and Gunslinger Duels. And then who's better? Hickok or whatever. Right. This person or whoever. Fucking this gang or whatever.
Right. We could.
Well, 1923, Oni,
oh,
the killer Madden, was released from a 10-year sentence in prison. Known for his violence in his younger days in Hell's Kitchen's Gopher Gang.
Uh-oh.
Prison had changed Madden to a mature man capable of violence, but also with a cool head and a calm demeanor.
Hey.
Well, Big Bill saw the potential in Madden and paid the price for his services, making Madden a partner in the bootlegging operation. Now he's got some hardened criminal, just got out of prison,
right,
running his shit for him. Look at him.
Damn. Well, Madden established the Phoenix Cereal Beverage Company, a brewery in the heart of the West Side. Filling an area with the scent of illegally produced beer, Madden's number one.
That's the name of the beer. Oh,
right.
Madden's number one.
Protected in Big Bill's web of political connections, they remained untouched and made more money.
So these guys are the untouchables, the real untouchables.
Right. And they made more money than even they had thought possible. Coming to dominate the alcohol trade in New York.
Okay.
In fact, they would form part of the Combine's Big Four. A group of 4 Irish bootleggers that also included Danny Walsh.
Danny Walsh.
Came from Boston.
Boston.
And Joseph Kennedy.
Hey.
Also came from Boston.
It's fucking Danny from Boston.
Right. Father of the future president of the United States of America.
Joseph Kennedy is not.
Joseph Kennedy. The Combine was a forerunner to the crimes.
Wait.
I said it.
Joseph Kennedy. That's not the name of the Papa Kennedy, is it?
Oh, my.
Yeah, my name is Joseph P. Kennedy. Joseph P. Kennedy's senior son. Joseph Kennedy III. Wait a minute. Future. Joseph wasn't the name of fucking. He was born in 1888, died in 69. Was Joe father of fucking JFK?
That is kids listed.
He was. 3 of his sons. John F., Robert, and fucking Ted.
Nice. Look at that.
I didn't know his
mobster
name. I didn't think his name was Joe. Why did I think it was somebody else? Look at that guy.
I no wonder why John F. Kennedy got murdered. Duh. Right.
Irish bootlegger. So fucking old Joe Kennedy, JFK's father, was an Irish bootlegger back in the day, huh? Well, there's something I'm sure a lot of you already known, but
because these guys were the forerunner of the crime syndicate, which was made up of the biggest Irish, Italian, and Jewish bootleggers at this very time in the New York area.
Which is the commission of.
Right.
Because remember when we did the Luciano episode, he did the commission and included the Irish, Italians, and all those guys at the same time, but then now it's just Italian.
We're still not talking about the Big Five yet. This is the Big Four.
Well, these are just Irish.
Right, bootleggers, not even mobsters. You guys ain't mobsters.
Well, it's a forerunner to the commission.
Right, but it's not. You're not nobody with no power.
Well, either or, their success drew the unwanted attention of the authorities, which it always does. In 1924, the Coast Guard, along with the negotiation of a treaty to extend the maritime borders of the United States. Hey, didn't we have that in
We did.
what was his name? McCoy. Bill McCoy's episode where they extended it to fucking get him.
Right.
Well, they all stepped up their efforts against bootleggers along the American coast, which was 3 miles, and they did like 12 miles out or something like that.
Right.
Well, Dwyer began to invest in fleets of his own ships to handle the businesses of overseas and ship-to-shore transportation. The Coast Guard ships were especially equipped to halt the alcohol trade, so Big Bill turned to a friend who, in turn, purchased hundreds of airplane engines left over from the Great War and outfitted them on Dwyer's ships, creating a fleet of ships faster than any of the Coast Guard ships. They put airplane ships on these damn little boats. I mean, they call them ships, but they airplane ship. They put airplane engines on these. They're not even that long, though. They're only like, 25, 30 feet? Right. So fucking...
They're flying.
Holy shit. So they're... This is the...
Speedboat. It's the first speedboat.
I would say they're like what the NASCAR guys did on land, but these guys are doing on... Right. Unfortunately, they couldn't. They couldn't get no racing circuit to go along. What would it be called? The National Association of Stock Boat Racing.
Right.
So NASCAR. Stock Boat.
Right.
Maritime Racing.
Right.
Yeah,
welcome back to 15.
Yeah, that wouldn't work out as good as NASCAR.
Right. Well, however, in 1925, Big Bill was arrested for attempting to bribe members of the Coast Guard during an undercover operation.
Bill, don't you know better?
Right. By the Prohibition Bureau, and was sentenced to 2 years. During his time in prison, the operation was turned over to Oni Madden.
Oni Madden, the old prisoner.
And Frank Costello.
Uh-oh.
We'll find out about this guy.
We will find out about this guy.
Who would become head of the Genovese crime family.
See,
later in years.
There's the thing here, guys. I want to clarify something real quick now that we're on Frank Costello.
We're not on Frank Costello.
Well, we just mentioned him, head of the Genovese crime family. There's plenty of crime mob guys that we could do for Prohibition, but we're saving that for our...
Right. Mobsters.
Mafia, mob, like series or whatever you want to say. So there'll be a lot of... We're going to go back in the 20s and 30s for our mob guys, but we're not on the mob, right? There's no reason to do these guys for Prohibition.
No.
We already did Luciano and...
No, that's just a small part of the business.
Right.
Bootlegging. Right. That's
so...
Nothing.
There's no reason. Mob's going to be its own separate...
These motherfuckers can continue to bootleg even after the shit was legal.
Mob is going to be our own separate spin-off. It's a spin-off, but it'll still be Outlaws and Gunslingers because Mob's going to take a long time, guys. We're going to be legitimately doing the Mob for
a while.
4 or 5 months, probably.
Its own era.
So, yeah, go ahead. The Genovese crime, Frank Costello took over the Genovese.
Frank Costello took over the Genovese crime family.
Genovese.
I don't care. After 13 months, Big Bill was released for good behavior, and once released, slowly,
you know what, Bill?
Began to withdraw from bootlegging.
You know what, Bill? You've been pretty good these last 13 months, so I think we'll let you go.
After he got out, he was like, you know what?
What am I going to do now?
I'm going to slowly get out of bootlegging, but I need to make some money while I'm doing it.
Right.
But I'm going to get out. And he goes, you see that business over there selling coffee and shit? I think I'm going to do something like that. Oh, no, you're not.
Selling coffee?
Yeah. You're not going to do anything like that, Big Bill. He's
like
that guy over there selling baked goods every day? I think I might do something like that.
Like, no, you're not. And he's like, you're right.
You're right.
You're
what
right.
I will do is I'll fucking... I'll buy horses in a track.
That same year that Big Bill went to prison in 1925, Tex Rickard convinced him to purchase the Hamilton Tigers of the National Hockey League.
Oh, he's going into that.
And he renamed them the New York Americans.
Okay.
Dwyer paid $75,000 to turn the Tigers into the New York Americans. Wow, that's a lot of money back then.
Just change the name.
Well, with a fortune made in Prohibition bootlegging, Dwyer handed out lucrative contracts, including a 3-year deal to Billy Birch, rumored to be worth $25,000.
So this dude was, I want to know his net worth. They never said. He was probably millions back then, which is billions now.
Of course. Well, Shorty Green also received a huge raise, his salary going from $3,000 to $5,000. I mean, I guess that is huge. This was a time when most NHL players were said to make about $1,500 or $2,000 a season. So he owned the Americans when he went to prison, got out of prison,
right?
And now he's like, I'm done with fucking bootlegging altogether. Guess what I'm doing? Sports, baby, sports.
NHL, National Hockey League, baby.
Mm-hmm.
This is in what, the 20s, early 30s?
This is now
late 20s?
You'll see. Support for Outlaws and Gunslingers on the Creative Control Network is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming champions of the world. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Ooh. Manscaped just launched their 4th-generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0.
Oh, I like it.
You heard that right, the 4.0. Oh. Join over 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off. That's right. I said 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code Outlaws at manscaped.com.
That is code Outlaws at manscaped.com. Well, imagine shaving with a sleek, well-designed, and optimized trimmer that makes shaving time your favorite time in the bathroom.
Ooh, well, I'm one of the first people to try the new 4.0, and I'm blown away by the performance. I really am. The craftsmanship and details on the 4.0 are next level. Here's a little selling point for you guys. You guys ever tried to use like regular hair clippers with no guard and tried to shave your balls? I guarantee you're going to nick them because it happened to me. Don't ever try to shave your balls with regular like hair clippers. What? Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was, trust me, blood on the floor, and the wife ain't going to be happy. So this new 4.0 is going to save you a little bit of pain, and it's going to save your day.
Well,
nobody wants to nick balls.
Well, you're just in luck there because Manscaped engineered the ultimate groin and body trimmer by focusing on intelligent functionality and an incredibly comfortable grooming experience. Their 4th-generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade.
No pun intended, huh?
Ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology.
That's trademarked, by the way, so don't you go over there and try to steal it, people.
Right. I feel confident shaving my balls.
Me too, because this upgraded trimmer includes a multi-function on-off switch that can engage a travel lock. Ooh. It also gives you the ability to turn the 4000K LED spotlight on and off when needed for a more precise shave.
Damn.
It's got a flashlight so you can see your gooch or your taint or whatever you guys call that place.
Ain't that crazy? Well, the Lawnmower 4.0 even allows you to customize your trim to additional guard lengths with sizes, guess what? 1 through 4.
I recommend you guys don't do anything over 1 because unless you're a bushman, I'm a bushman.
Maybe 2, I bet would be decent.
Yeah, 2 maybe. All right. Did I mention wireless charging? We didn't, but we do now because the new wireless charging system uses electromagnetic induction, which can help battery length last longer, so longer shave times in between charges.
Man, if you've been shaving with the same nut trimmer on your face, you've been doing it wrong. No person wants to end up with the pubes in their mouth. Which
leads to my point about using a regular hair shaver down there.
You have 2 of them. I have 2 different shavers.
Well, I have 1. And
well, not right now.
But
before I got
the Manscaped 4.0, right. So, and speaking of no person wants to end up in pubes in their mouth, your significant other definitely don't want to end up with pubes in their mouth because that'd be the last time she goes down there. Well, it's time to get your own ball and hair body trimmer with Manscaped to make me time the best time and enhance your confidence with some nice smooth boys.
Smooth boy. I'm some smooth boys. Mm-hmm. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code Outlaws at manscaped.com.
Your balls will thank you. Once again, get 20% off and free shipping with the code Outlaws at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com, and use the code Outlaws. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. He got out.
Oh, in 1925, yeah. So mid-20s.
Spent 13 months. He got out in 1926. So
mid-20s. So hockey's starting it's actually a growing fucking sport. Yep. He took an active role in owning the team.
Well, you see, it wasn't the NHL as you know it, since they have the New York Americans and Pittsburgh Pirates.
Right. He took an active role in owning the team, often trying to rig NHL games. Mm-hmm. For example, he put a goal judge in that would call a goal against an opponent merely if the puck touched the goal line.
Oh, no.
It happened one night in 1927 when Ottawa was at Madison Square Garden. However, the goal judge seemed more interested in taunting Ottawa goalkeeper Alex Connell. Connell finally butt-ended the goal judge in the nose, so he headbutted him. Whatever butt-ended means. Probably the end of it with a stick
and just boom, smashed it in
which caused Big Bill's buddies to seek Connell's death that night. Damn.
Okay.
He didn't deserve to get murdered. Come on, they're playing the game, and he got a little heated. It took a police detail to get Connell out of the gardens that night, And at the train station, someone inquired if a gentleman was Alex Connell. Connell lied and said he was not, knowing he was in danger. He was like, I can never be me again.
Well, at least not New York.
Right.
Where this fucking...
that was his last game ever played in NHL.
Crazy son of bitches.
That was the last game ever played in NHL, I bet.
He went into hiding. It's not, though. The Americans flourished, and Dwyer secretly purchased the Pittsburgh Pirates of the NHL using ex-boxer Benny Leonard as a frontman who appeared to be the team's owner.
Nice.
Well, that team folded in 1930, known as the Philadelphia Quakers, though, so they didn't last very long.
Right.
In 1930, Dwyer also purchased NFL's Dayton Triangles for $2,500, relocated them to Ebbets Field, and renamed them to the Brooklyn Dodgers.
Nice.
He bought the team with Jack Depler, a former player for the NFL's Orange Tornadoes. I've never heard of that fucking team in my life. Well, by the end of the 1932 season, Dwyer had enough of professional football. He said, I'm done with this. It's not doing anything for me. In the 3 years I've owned these Dodgers, they cost me $30,000.
I mean, $10,000 a year.
That's a lot of money.
And millions.
Well, he sold the team just after that to two former New York Giant players, Chris Cagle and John Sims Kelly, for $25,000. He only bought him for $2,500, so he made a fucking... Well, he didn't make a killing because he spent $30,000.
But still, he lost $5,000 or $3,000 or $8,000.
Well, depending on what he made from ticket sales and concessions and all that, and that's not factored in.
1935.
He probably didn't make out pretty handsome. I would
That's
assume.
probably an even deal. He tried. Yeah. 1935.
It was the 30s in NFL. You're fucking you're hit or miss back then. Man.
Either you're Detroit Lions or you're nobody.
Or the Packers.
1935, 1936, United States government won a big lawsuit against Big Bill.
Big Bill. That was you know what? Your name's Big Bill. We win a big lawsuit.
Leaving him virtually penniless.
Virtually. Except
for his ownership of the Americans. And he was losing money here. Just before the 1936-37 season, the NHL took control of the Americans.
Oh, shit.
Claiming that the financial status of the team was critical. Big Bill.
Well, yeah, they wanted that. They wanted that New York market. Like you guys are playing in Madison Square Garden, the New York market. You guys are fucking up this team pretty much.
Right.
We want them to make a profit. We're gonna have to take control.
Right.
Gonna have to take control, guys.
Big Bill filed a lawsuit against the NHL, but the NHL settled by letting him own the Americans in 1936-37 to give him time to pay his debts.
Okay, so at least they did the right thing.
Red Dutton,
who
was the manager and coach of the team, lent Bill $20,000 for the team, and Big Bill promptly lost it all.
Oh,
in a craps game.
Big Bill.
He went and played craps on that shit. He goes, I can double this shit now.
The fact that he had his coach
that
had enough money to lend him $20,000. He's the owner, and the coach of the fucking team's lending him $20,000.
Well, the coach
then he goes and loses it all in a craps game.
Well, the coach went and let the NHL know what was happening. So at the end of the season, when Big Bill was like, I don't got your money, NHL was like, well, we got your team.
Right.
And they was like, oh.
NHL like, we hereby declare the New York Americans ours.
The NHL Americans, motherfucker. Get the fuck out. Pack your bags, bitch.
Well, fortunately, not fortunately for Bill at the end of his life, but also during this time when he was controlling all these teams, he also bought a couple racing tracks, horse racing tracks. In 1929, Dwyer acquired the Coney Island Racetrack in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Nice.
He allowed operations through bootlegging partner Arthur Dutch Schultz Fligenheimer in 1934 and 1935. Dwyer cut a deal with Ed Strong of Cleveland for Peter Horback to purchase the racetrack, which was in receivership on July 20th, 1936, for a $5,000 down payment.
Oh, shit.
Well, on September 1st, 1936, the deal was finalized and paid in full in the amount of 95 G's.
Wow.
The same day, the track was sold by Peter Horback. The same day, Peter Horback sold the track to River Downs, Inc. of Cleveland, Ohio. So he literally purchased it and sold it back for probably more than $95,000, I would assume.
Right.
In 1931, Bill Dwyer became a founding partner in the Tropical Park Racetrack in Coral Gables, Florida, as well. And as we already know, since he lost that court case to the United States, he had nothing.
Nothing.
Poor guy. What a poor guy.
Right. Well, by the end of Prohibition and end of Big Bill's life, he retired from bootlegging and lived with his wife and 5 children. Belle Harbor, Queens. 1946, passed away at the age of 63. Heart attack. All seems to go down that way, man. These guys
None of these guys have a successful
ending, except for that one guy.
Some of them do.
Wyatt Earp's the only one, but he was a good guy somewhat.
Well, Bill McCoy lived to like 70-something
Right.
and died on a heart attack on a boat in the middle of the ocean like he would have wanted. So there's a good story for him.
I would say.
Gertrude Lithgow died at like, what was it, like 80-something of a heart attack or something.
Okay,
So a lot of them do live.
Couple.
When you're just bootleggers and you get... But a lot of them, though, you notice the ones that live long are the bootleggers that get caught, go to prison, get out, and then stop bootlegging and do some stupid shit for the rest of their life.
Right.
Just live their life, pretty much.
Like, yeah.
But most of them, they're dying.
So look at this guy.
When they're like
he grew
35.
Up, he grew up in like fucking the jungle, and it ran a successful bootlegging business without violence, supposedly without violence that he did. I'm sure.
Well, I don't know.
I'm sure he fucking ordered.
That goalie feared for his life after sticking the fucking ref in the nose.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Maybe they didn't do the violence themselves, and they let other people decide if violence could be done. They had a guy for violence. Fucking.
We're gonna have to take that up with the violence committee.
The violence committee. They're gonna have to. We don't deal with that. I mean, I can see something like that, right? Do what you got to do.
It's like a round table of people.
Right.
All in favor of violence, say aye.
They're not involved. They're not right.
Aye. No. It's down to a 3-3 vote. The one guy decides it all. It's the seventh guy.
He's like, yeah.
Sweating and shit. And he's like... Especially if the boss is like voted no.
Right.
Now he's
the boss don't vote at all. Those guys wouldn't vote. Big Bill was like, I don't even want to be in this. There's a committee for you guys to do this yourself. I don't even want to know.
Right.
I just want you to make sure that what I'm doing is still successful. You stop my threats. I don't know how you do it. I ain't asking. I'm going to pay you a salary for being a security.
Right. You guys.
Right.
You don't fucking tell me anything you do. You just do it.
Do it. To whatever you think
in the
needs to be
means
done.
Necessary. Right.
For what's best for business. That will be a very popular term throughout history. What's best for business. You do it, boys.
Well, at least in... Yeah, I guess that applies to any business, right?
Right.
Do what's best for business here, guys.
It's not personal.
One of the biggest lines in any movie. It's not personal, man.
There's 3 lines you never want to hear. Is hey, I like you, but, or it's not personal. It's just business.
Or I'll take it from here. I'll take it from here. That usually applies to like a cop movie where they're taking off a case or something because they fucked up too many times in the movie.
Right.
They fucked up the case too many times, and then no, man, no, I want to get this. No, we'll take it from here, and then they go rogue and fucking solve the case by themselves.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Happens all the time.
Get called in.
Any cop movie.
Right. Get called in.
Give me your badge.
Get called in the captain's office a few times, yeah. I told you need to stay out of this.
Right. You better not be. That's like fucking from Beverly Hills Cop.
Right.
You're supposed to be on vacation. The fucking. You know that guy in Beverly Hills Cop. Speaking of the captain in Beverly Hills Cop from Detroit, that's the real captain.
Is it?
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
And he's a corrupt motherfucker, dude.
Oh, sure.
There's a documentary on Netflix about White Boy Rick. White Boy Rick.
Yeah, I've seen
the documentary, not the movie.
Oh, I've seen the movie.
Documentary. I might
have seen the documentary.
That same captain in Beverly Hills Cop is the legit same captain that fucking was dirty and did all that shit to White Boy Rick, dude. Like fucking and he did all bunch of like he was a dirty ass fucking guy.
Nice. Well, the movie got to him and made him. Well,
no,
at the same time.
That was before the movie.
Right, it would be before the movie. That's true.
Yeah.
See, Dan, Hollywood.
So there's a fun fact for you.
And Hollywood knew this, and they still allowed it.
Of course, he's like, this is the type of gritty, slimy guy we like to hire.
Hollywood's like, this is exactly what we need. Trust me, once you sign this paper, you're fucking under our care.
And that guy's like, well, who's the producer? Harvey Weinstein.
Right.
Weinstein.
He's like, yeah, I'm good.
No, he's like, yeah.
He's like, yeah, I'm good. If that guy is your producer, I'm good.
Well,
if you can keep that guy safe, I'm good.
Right. He's like, we're all fucking good.
Right. If this guy is still not in jail, I'm going to sign that paper.
It was the 70s, 80s here.
And it's still same shit.
Well, speaking of Weinstein, Quentin Tarantino on Joe Rogan's podcast said pretty much everybody in Hollywood knew what he was doing.
Obviously they did.
Quentin Tarantino claimed, I didn't know about any rape or anything, but we knew that he liked to be friendly with the females and all that stuff. And
so I'm telling you, all that Isaac Cappy shit is all real. All those names Isaac Cappy fucking named were real. Tom Hanks, Steven Spielberg, you're all fucking pedophiles. Seth Green, fucking everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody. They're fucking nasty people. Sick. Disgusting.
People wonder why.
Chrissy Teigen, John Legend. Chrissy Teigen anymore. I mean, there's an interview with them talking about doing a fucking foursome with Barack Obama. It was before he was in the White House, though. John Legend damn near slapped a fucking piss out of her right there in the fucking interview, dude. It looked like it was gonna die.
He was so fucking pissed. He walked away like she's like, I'm in trouble.
You dumb bitch.
You fucking dumbass.
Yeah, because Barack was already sending them fucking messages. What the fuck?
And Barack's untouchable.
Right.
Yeah.
John Legend and Chris Teigen aren't, though.
Well clearly they are.
John Legend is, but Chris Teigen's not.
Clearly.
They'll kill out Chris Teigen.
Clearly, right. Yeah. They'll kill her.
Right.
John Legend's like, look, motherfucker, I ain't said nothing, Brock.
Right,
it's all my stupid-ass wife.
Right. And he'd be like, you're right.
Did you see that video of, I know we're getting way off topic, Outlaws and Gunslingers episode here, but did you see that video? It's John Legend and like Julia Roberts and Jennifer Aniston, and I don't know what it was for, but it was like a thing. It was like a Zoom call, like 8 different celebrities. John Legend's there, and then Chrissy Teigen comes into the camera view, and she's got literally like a nightie on, like a fucking like lingerie and shit on, and then Julia Roberts like, is that what you wear around the house? And fucking just like her and Jennifer Aniston just start like roasting fucking Chrissy Teigen.
Really?
Like pretty much calling her a fucking, not saying it, but the way they're is that what you really wear? Right. And then Julia Roberts is like, Jennifer, have you ever wore like something like that around the house? And like, no, I was like basically calling her a slut, but fucking, yeah, dude, it was fucking hilarious. And
like,
then you can see John Legend was like, he's like mouthing, Illuminati, kill this bitch now. Like he's so fucking embarrassed by this chick.
Like she's like she took the power that we got way to her head, and she's just fucking nuts. I mean, some of you get, a lot of them are like that. Look at them; they're everywhere. They get outlandish,
and they think they're fucking above it all. But
I guarantee you, Chrissy Teigen fucked the shit out of LL Cool J every fucking night on fucking Limp Sync Battle. I guarantee it.
Well, that's going to end it for this episode of...
And John Legend probably knows.
Outlaws and Gunslingers, all about Big Bill Dwyer.
Oh, big fucking Bill in fucking Teigen's Dwyer.
He put his big bill in Teigen's Dwyer. Oh, no. This just went downhill. Yeah, I told you we were at the end of the mountain. We just hit that fucking slope, and now we
put together
we got an avalanche.
A few listenable shows, guys, but it's going downhill from there.
We got an avalanche coming down to the end of Prohibition, which this is our last full-length episode of Prohibition, profiling a single person. Next week we'll do
maybe a half-hour-long transition. We'll tell you what happened.
Yeah, we'll put them out probably different days.
We'll give you the stats. We'll give you the stats of Prohibition, the cause and effect.
And it might not even be just Prohibition. It'll be...
Of the 20s. We had
No, not even the 20s. We could even do...
Tell me what we're going to do.
Whatever era. We can do little-known Wild West guys, 15-minute fucking...
I'm going to go back to Wild West.
Yeah.
Wild West.
No, it's a spin-off.
Wow,
it's not a spin-off. It'll be released on a different day.
What's the show called?
I don't know. Didn't we just have a name for it earlier?
Yeah, Duels, but it wasn't anything like that.
No, that was Duels comparing the two.
Oh, so we on another one? How many fucking shows you think
well, that's down the line. That's down the line. That's down the line. Outlaws
nothing down the line.
Outlaws and Gunslingers, a single shot.
A shot of Outlaws and Gunslingers.
Nah, sounds like a liquor.
Obviously, yeah. Of course.
Yeah, but we're not always going to do Prohibition.
The Daily Fix.
Well, it can't be daily. It's not daily.
I don't know. It's not even my fucking idea.
Outlaws and Gunslingers shorts.
No.
Yeah. Outlaws and Gunslingers short barrel edition.
No. That didn't work out.
Outlaws and Gunslingers. Outlaws and Gunslingers. We just call it Out and Gun. Because it's short, you know. Get it? Shorter.
Right.
Outslingers. Gun laws. Either way, yeah. Well, yeah. I think there's going to be a little spin-off coming. Not Don't expect it anytime soon. But
not.
we'll go back and we'll do 10, 15-minute episodes of whatever we missed that couldn't fit into an hour-long episode.
Maybe.
But
there'll be specials here and there. We call that.
Either or.
We call it special.
This is the last full-time, the last Prohibition episode on a single person, which next week we'll be looking at the fallout of Prohibition, what do I want to say? The effects of Prohibition, how it affected the United States going forward, how much money was lost, how much money was spent, all the fucking missteps, and if it did any good.
Did it?
Whatsoever. So we'll be exploring that next week. Well, we don't know. And then finally, we've been saying this for like literally 2 months, but finally, the week after next week, 2 weeks from now, we'll finally open up our 1930s Outlaws with the one and only, the only way you can open it. We always open up a new region or
fucking
a new segment.
Hit them big. Fucking throat punch.
The one and only Bonnie and Clyde. So that'll be 2 weeks from now. And you guys can always email us if you think we missed something or you want us to cover a specific person in any range that we're in. Email us at bangdangpodcast@gmail.com and let us know. Until then,
you guys type LOL on those YouTube videos. You can do the same thing here, motherfuckers.
Right. Other than that, you can go.
They have a comment section, do they not? On the Spreaker and Stitcher and all that?
I think you have to have a Spreaker account.
Well, all these. Yeah. Come on. What's another account? What's another password?
Anyways, you guys can go look us up, our other show on what's kind of like we just ripped on Chrissy Teigen and all these guys here. Kind of pretty much like that, what you just heard last week, where we totally disrespected the women of Prohibition and went off on 16 different ways. But yeah,
great.
The Bang and Dang Show, wherever you get your podcasts over there, we're talking about any crazy news stories, politics, recent politics, whatever we feel like, just shooting on everything, sports, music, whatever. It's pretty much a
smorgasbord.
I didn't want to say it. I was thinking of it. Literally, that word was in my head, but I didn't want to say it because I'm tired of fucking saying smorgasbord out of fucking everything.
I'm saying that word from now on about everything.
Yeah, that's the Bang and Dang podcast. We'll be next week.
But anyway, let's tell these fans where Hell's Kitchen is at in case they didn't know.
Hell's Kitchen is in New York.
Yes.
Obviously.
A lot of people were like, they never told us where Hell's Kitchen is at, and then I had to stop the podcast and go look.
No, everybody knows where Hell's Kitchen is.
But do they?
Yeah, there. They thought of the TV show with Gordon.
Right. They thought why are they doing a show full of cooks?
Right. Chefs. We'll be back next week for the effects and the consequences of Prohibition.
Was it good?
This has been the Outlaws.
Did people still get drunk? I bet they did. What was the effect?
Well,
more closet drinkers. Is that where the term closet drinker come from?
Maybe we've kind of seen the effects already since we did 13 episodes on Prohibition. But we'll be back next week with Outlaws and Gunslingers. It's the Mouth of Michiganders with
Bang Dang.